Well, let us kick off our first working session as part of our today's meeting. We invite our guests to our improvised stage for the presentation of the boarding center in Baltasinsky district of the Republic of Tatarstan. Our speaker is Aygul Khalilina, and let me also introduce Rael Fazlzana. Please sit down next to her. He will dwell upon the fact that it is necessary to invest in what we have in Tatarstan and to facilitate our boarding house and how everything is implemented as part of its development. Please take your seats. Well, I think we may begin. The mic has to function, thus press the button, please. Lifestyle, language, and faith of a child are instilled by the mother. She is the first person who does that for the whole life. When one person asked who is the most dignified person to manifest kindness, Muhammad Prophet said that Allah gives peace to us, and it's your mother who gives peace to you. It's your mother who is in charge of that. Afterwards, the father will take your role. His words reflect the truth about the mother's majesty. Preservation of the nation spirit is the area of responsibility of our great mother, and this spirit is human consciousness, moral values, and mindset. There are a lot of factors which affect it. That's what unites us, is education and nurturing moral values, moral standards. No family, no government has ever stipulated these moral values and rules, but they have been passed from one generation to the other one. It's like a beacon which is a reference life standard. If you are religious, you're moral, and vice versa, and this strengthens your spirit and enhances your self-confidence in your life. And that is why it's necessary to educate future mothers since childhood, who in turn will nurture their kids and raise them as religious and faithful persons. And this idea sparked off the establishment of the girls' boarding house in Baltasinsky district, which dates back to more than 4 centuries. Some people wonder why this work is required. When can this be promoted and disseminated in mosques? Looking back the history, we may note that following the revolution dated 1905, each region, each settlement where the Tatars lived, one school was inaugurated after the other one. The programs and the curricular adhered to all the spiritual life standards, and the secular sciences were also taught, which were required back then, and the girls who graduated from these schools had great moral values, and they were raised in accordance with family values. There's Burbash settlement in rural area in Baltasinsky district, and there is a famous boarding school for boys, and children from across Russia study there. That is why we have great experience to share in this domain. The boarding house was started functioning starting from the 1st September this year. It's one of the projects of Yardam Charitable Fund. That's the national fund. It's located in the center of the rural area in Burbash rural area, and its population is over 800 residents. This now enables us to go to secondary school, to the mosque, and to children's playgrounds and sports arena, which contribute to both physical and moral education of children. Overall, there is a total of 22 educatees at this boarding house. They come from different regions of the Republic of Tatarstan and other Russian regions who have a good command of the Tatar language. There is the boarding house for boys, which is aimed at spiritual education of children in order to train the future manpower of Islamic families. They study at Burbash settlement at the educational school and the secondary school and at the afternoon, and then they get moral education during the evenings, and their facilities are well defined. And Jordan Help is the charitable fund which sustains them, and they follow the curriculum of religious studies, and it was approved by the administration of the Muslims of the Republic of Tatarstan, and it arranges the religious school and religious education. There are some disciplines such as ethics, the history of Muhammad prophets, the history of prophets, worshipping backbone, Islamic religion. They also study Quran and memorize it. Moral education should go hand in hand with obtaining secular knowledge. When we work with school children in this field, this helps children prevent them and their friends from different religious branches, from different sects, and this reflects the life of the rural dwellers. The migrants don't stay in the rural area for work, they gain knowledge and go back. What really matters for us is to train manpower from the locals. These people will be well versed in the in-depth problems of the population, its mentality, and they will be able to apply a cautious approach to their work. Over the past years, many Tatar families try to recover and to resume the national standards of the Tatar families which have been lost during the Soviet era, and these specific rules help nurture children who are caring about their family members, and that is why they get back to their roots in the religious Muslim families, and when these religious people form families, they try to restore the rules which have been the backbone of the Tatar lives for a century. In accordance with the opinion of the phenomenal researchers, this happens because it's the traditional culture aimed at raising people as part of something great, be it a family or a kin or a country. As for the Western culture, it means isolation and loneliness because it's oriented at personal growth, and that's it. Children under 7 were raised at home, and then they entered to the parishioner school at the mosques where they studied the foundation of the religions, and now many families are going to restore the national past. Our spiritual mentor started his enlightenment at the end of 1980s. He got religious knowledge, and the ones who brought him up kept studying even during the Soviet era. He set the goal of spiritual education of the parishioners. Prior to opening the mosques, there were some religious knowledge which had been transferred, and now each Tatar rural area has a mosque where the residents of our region serve, and our goal is primary religious education. There are also some extracurricular activities such as akhlaq classes. Annual bottom line is drawn as part of regional contests, be it namaz prayers and manajat, which is the melody of Islam. As for the central mosque of urban type settlement Baltasinsky, it arranges the evening classes of which is sort of commemorating a millennium of Islamic conversion, and people may get extra religious education, and this Baltasinsky mosque is fitted with manpower. It is necessary to mark the activities of the outreach center at the central of the mosque, which contributes to spiritual value inculcation in our region. It arranges all-encompassing classes on secular and religious education of children who undergo preschool education, and it's held at Asylum Center. There is National Education Museum, and it has a liaison between the past and the present. Some exhibits evoke some interest to the history of the Tatar people in them. When they watch these films at the large screens in the multimedia halls, they're impressed. There are also some entertaining games and at the sensor touchpad for these children. There is a state-of-the-art Melechadina workshop which brings together our great young women, and they practice handicrafts there. They do manual work. It's also a point of assembly while dealing with public organizations. There's also children's Muslims, Samantoin Barbash rural area. It's all Russian level, and it gives the light of Islam to the heart of each and every child. The aforementioned activity enables us to make progress and to establish some boarding houses for girls in another rural area. But it's not just written in black and white, but it's a performance indicator of our activity. I would like to highlight that the opening of the boarding house in this settlement used to be a very responsible but effective project. It was an enlightenment center in the park, and girls will get educated there, and they will explore their mother tongue and the education of the Tatar people. It's about bringing up the society on the whole, because the backbone of any society is our family, and a woman is the foundation of any family. Let us refer to a great person and explore their life way. This person is always accompanied by a woman who assists him on a regular basis. A lot of key issues are resolved in the family, and that's the area of responsibility of a woman who's a mother. She passes deep knowledge and the mother tongue to her child, and she tries to transfer the knowledge about the customs and traditions and festive days of her nation. She keeps a close eye on a healthy life of a family. And when the relations between a young and a woman, a young man and a young woman, a girl and a boy are moral, and the future of mankind is resolved in mother's uterus and in mother's womb. She should be aware of that, and when she stands above the cradle, she should instill the family values to a baby. This generation justifies itself, and some people say that they do not speak their mother tongues, and neither their children do, and they do not support their integrity. In this case, the families will become mute and speechless. Unless we instill these moral values and unite our forces, it is highly likely that there is no point in talking about the nation. There is the priority activities in our world. The main idea is establishment of a family and raising children. So one great prophet gave a great blessing for these children. He said that we have to respect these children, our children, and to care about them. And when it comes to educating girls, when a person gives birth to 3 daughters and starts doing some good things to them, this person will find himself and herself in paradise. And the pride of any Muslim family is a well-educated girl. The key patrimony and legacy of any person is education and moral beauty. No father can give nothing beneficial for children but noble manners and demeanor, and people should be and good people should be decorous in this field, as Allah's Prophet says. And children may make mistakes due to their failures and watched attempts to raise them, but these manners are a valuable treasure. Thank you very much. Thank you for your kind attention.
Good day to everyone. Thank you to God. And so we've just heard the speech dedicated to the boarding house in Baltasinsky region, and we are preparing a new project, the boarding house for our girls. And so our Rais, Nuster Nurgalevich Minikhanov, halal lifestyle is the way we live in compliance with religious norms and standards. Halal, it's not only meals, but it's also moral rearing from the childhood time. It touches all social aspects, all economical aspects, and it depends on what kind of people we bring up. And the boarding house for girls, it is the necessity, and it is a necessary institution which will help us to bring up the future generation, people who want to see in the future. And I would like to urge you by quoting some Islamic principles. It is said that a child is brought up by parents, and a child is obliged to take care for his or her parents, and Almighty God gives it as an order, and it will be the great goodness for us. And people who come from Baltasinsky region, business people, public person, deputies, people who have gained success, be it private life or public life, and so they used to live in this district. They were educated there, and I think that obligation of and moral duty for any people who come from this district to contribute to some extent to implementation of this project. Maybe it can sound a bit rude, but it is obligation, moral obligation for every Muslim person from our district. Alhamdulillah. Actually, dealing with education of growing generation, we provide for not only our future, but we provide for the future of our offsprings. And so when we leave this world, our offsprings will refer to God for our benefit, and we will get benefit from it. So actually we are working for ourselves, and I urge you to participate actively in this project, because there is a great goodness for us in this life and in